Hi there, viewers. Welcome to Get Well, Stay Well on Revelation TV. This is part of your questions. So we've just got some questions from our viewers. So let's just cover this. This is from Enid. Felicity, I am bedridden after an operation and know I should be exercising. What can you recommend to start oxygenating my body?
Right, well, Enid needs to start with breathing exercises, because if she's stuck in bed and she literally can't put her feet to the ground at the moment, then she's going to have to start taking the oxygen. Maybe she can get oxygen pumped in, take oxygen drops, or just simply do the breathing exercises. And this is what physios come and help you with, you know, when you're in hospital, so that you start breathing, because when we're oxygenating the body, we start getting better, and we've got to get rid of the anesthetic maybe that's being given to us. And it's really important to get moving as much as you can. So as soon as you can put your feet to the ground, then you start maybe rebounding, which is what I did when I got better.
Just explain to our viewers, what is the rebounder?
Well, a rebounder is like a mini trampoline, and you can get them with a special support that you can put your hands on at the same time, so they're much safer. And obviously, if this lady is bedridden at the moment, hopefully she's going to be able to get out of bed and eventually. But the thing is to keep maintaining her health and her good diet and her oxygenation while she's still unable to move much. So the breathing, and of course you can do the arm exercises if she can possibly do that, Enid. That would be a good idea. So gradually build yourself back, build your immune system, and of course it's important to have the juices, it's important to do the colonics, it's important to put the whole program together, and then people do get well and stay well.
What sort of recommendation would you give to our viewers who start exercising and they want to say, what do I do to maintain the motivation, shall we say? What's the best thing to do?
Well, the great thing is to try and exercise with somebody else. That's really interesting, because then you've got someone to go out, say, walking with. If you can't do that, put on some of these motivational clips that we show, you know, because they're fun, especially the walking ones with a bit of music. You can get the, you know, the MP3 players, and you can get them at different speeds for walking. And I remember doing this years ago, and you start with the slow ones and you build up gradually. And it's fun because they have all kinds of, you know, salsa music, and it's bright, happy music, and it really gets you moving. It's really important to just start moving in the right direction. Yeah. Well,
let's take a look at our next clip, actually. This is with some people doing some exercise but dancing to some music at the same time. So let's take a look.
Hi everybody, this is Power Walk. It's a 3-mile workout and we're using the hand weights, so keep them nearby. Okay, you ready to warm up? Yeah, you ready to warm up, guys? Here we go. Warm-ups, nice and easy. I know we always get so fired up we want to just take off, but you have to keep it easy for a bit. We'll review the steps, we'll get the heart rate up a bit, we'll warm the body temperature, muscles get warm, you get a little fluid into the joint, and oh, do you feel good moving? That's what the warm-up does. Good job, everybody's walking. 5, 6, we're going to step out to the side, here it goes, go out together, good, out together. Easy side steps. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Walk, 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 walk. Hey, it's a great day to take a walk. Wow. Walk, 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 walk. Kicks are next, everybody. 4, 3, ready. Let's kick right here. Now kick and kick and kick and kick. Kick and kick and kick and kick. I always bring a great group of walkers. We'll walk, we'll talk, don't worry. We're gonna sweat. How about that? Good. Kick and kick and kick. Just a few more, and 8 and 7 and 6 and 5, 4, 3, 2. We're walking again. Let's walk. Good. Knee lifts are coming. And 8 more counts. You get right into this nice warm-up. It gets you ready for the faster pace. 4 more. Here's 4, 4, your tummy. Take the belly button, draw it deep into the spine. Just tuck it back, okay? Now, shoulders line up right over the hips. You've got it. That's beautiful, perfect posture. You got to walk around nice and tall all day. Feels so good. Okay, come on, a tight 4. And 4 more counts. Here's 4, here's 3, here's 2. We walk again. Good. Walk, everybody. How you doing, Mary?
I'm doing great. How about you?
You're gonna walk with. You're gonna teach us later.
I am.
Mary
I'm
Kay
looking
is
forward
gonna
to
teach
it.
us. Yeah, they're cheering. Mary Kay's here. Mary Kay is in the house. She's gonna teach for you. Hang in there. It'll be fun. 4 more counts. 4. 3 side steps ready. Here comes right here. Step out. And out together, out together. You know, Mary, how many miles can I possibly go? I mean, of all this.
You mean how many of you already gone?
Well, no. How many more miles can I possibly teach? I need help. You know that.
I'll give you a little break this time.
Give you a little break, Mary. That's good. 4 more counts. Here's 4. Here's 3. Here's 2. Walk, 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 walk. And many miles to go before I sleep. I always think of that. Beautiful. Part of literature, huh? Thank goodness we can still walk these miles. It's a blessing.
Hi there, welcome back. I mean, that was just lovely and encouraging to see. I mean, like you saw, there was a large gentleman at the back, and it's for all shapes and sizes, isn't it?
That's right, but doing it with other people makes it fun. And also, if people are lonely, it's such a great thing to go and join a class like that. And I think she's great, that girl. You know, it's just fun, it's motivating, and it's entertaining, and people just love to get out together with other people and do something fun, really.
There is no excuse really, because we all do live a very busy life, but at the end of the day, how can you be too busy to look after your body and your health?
Well, you certainly pay the consequences if you don't look after yourself. So really important to get the diet right as well. You know, we put it all together with the diet, the exercise, drinking enough water. So of course the juices help with that when we rehydrate the body. So yeah, we really have to look after ourselves. Do some research. You know, it's really interesting to research these subjects and find out why this particular food is better for you, why the living enzymes are the best.
And when we're exercising and we're listening to music, how can that affect us in the motivation?
Well, it does. You see, it gets everybody's feet tapping, and it's good fun. It lifts the spirits. And, you know, music is such an amazing thing, isn't it? When we put on praise and worship music, you know, you can alter the environment completely. And it's really important to have some lovely music around.
Susan's actually sent us an email saying, I joined a gym but cannot go regularly. What can I do to exercise at home?
Well, you know, I talk about the resistance bands. These are these little stretchy bands that you can get that are really wonderful, and you can practice at home. Just, it's called, it's working against your own body weight, really. And you can take the resistance bands wherever you are. You know, you don't need to go to a gym, because, you know, we all join a gym and then can't go, or just too busy. And it's all expensive. So with the resistance bands, you can work out at home, and you can put them around a doorknob and press against them, or there's all kinds of these wonderful exercises you can do with your own body weight, you know, like lifting yourself up like this, just doing little press-ups like that, doing press-ups against a wall. You know, you don't have to go to the gym. So, and also I prefer to work out in the fresh air if I can. And I work out on my terrace, amusing the neighbours, no doubt. But it's fun, and the great thing is, if you're moving, you're improving.
That's exactly right. Emily sent us an email. I have a new baby, I want to get fit. What do you recommend?
Well, the thing is to put the baby in the baby buggy and go walking.
There you go.
That's so easy. And of course the babies love to get in this little, you know, the baby bouncers. So she can actually exercise with her class or at home watching DVDs like this. And the baby can exercise as well, because they love the music. You know, my 3 all grew up with music around in the house, and they're bouncing, and the other bigger ones are bouncing them even higher, of course, which can be quite dangerous. But anyway, it's all fun and everybody joins in. The thing is to get people moving, to get people motivated.
Steve has sent us an email. I am still at school and we don't get much exercise. What shall I do?
Ah, well, I know. This is what I feel, that education now is not teaching enough PE, as we used to call it, physical education. The thing is to get into team sports. He's a young man, obviously, so, you know, get into the football, get into some team things where he's going to have fun with the others and also get his exercise as well. And, you know, there's such a variety of sports that we can do now. It's absolutely amazing.
I think it's also a social aspect of it as well, because there are people out there who maybe are too shy to socialise with others, but why not use it at the same time as exercising? You're socialising, you're meeting new people, you've got a common interest there as well, don't you?
That's right. I mean, the athletic clubs are wonderful. They have the Hash House Harriers, you know. Do you have that here in Spain?
Yeah.
And they go running, and really, or you can go cycling, you can do all these different things, but it's fun just to get together with other people with a common purpose, and then you'll get out and get that exercise that our body needs, because we need to oxygenate. Okay. All our cells need oxygen.
Thomas sent us an email. I've hurt my back at the gym, don't want to lose the muscle mass I've built up. What can I do? Well,
probably he should be doing the resistance bands, because I mean he's obviously a big strong guy, and you can lose that muscle very quickly. So I would suggest he does, and also a punch bag. I mean, I was having lunch with Hugh the other day, and Hugh has a punch bag. Oh, what a great idea. And I tried to punch it. I didn't move it at all, but I'm sure Hugh can. So all these things are good. You know, the resistance bands you're not going to hurt yourself with, unless the doorknob flies off, of course. That would be awful. You're doing it and you're pressing against the doorknob. What I do is you can actually get these, what's it called, a Fit 10, it's called, a Fit 10 machine. And you can put that on the top of the door and do your press-ups like that. And you can also close it in, say, French windows, and the thing is on the outside, and then you can really pull against it. And, you know, we just need this sort of resistance. And that is the most wonderful exercise.
And it's so inexpensive at the end of the day that maybe the finances might be tight with people out there, and it's an inexpensive way. And like you said, people sometimes join the gym and they pay their monthly fee and they simply don't use it. But buying a resistance band or something like that, maybe only a few pounds, but you can use it for however long you need to.
And who needs a walking machine when all you have to do is actually walk, you know? It's crazy, isn't it, really? But the gym culture, you know, came in, I suppose, about 40 years ago. Everyone was going to work out in gyms. And I know Philip Day he was a great bodybuilder and, you know, working out. And Ty Bollinger, who's written this wonderful book, Cancer Step Outside the Box. All these guys have been really fit, and then they've seen what's happened with their families, you know, with chemo and all the stuff. And so they've got into health. And really, it's for personal family reasons, like I did, because I lost a daughter and a husband, and I really wanted to find a better way of eating. You know, it's not the food that we were taught to eat and we grew up on in our Western culture, which has got so Americanized. It's got so with processed foods. You know, this obesity thing started in America, I would say 30 years ago, and now you look through, you know, you look in London and people are very big.
I think also exercise is a way of bringing the families together as well, isn't it? Because with the modern technology out there, with the smartphones and the tablets and everything else, the computers, people maybe when they have dinner together, they probably don't interact as much. They're just on their mobile phones. But for the families to actually exercise together, and it could be just simple of going for a 20-minute walk, it's like a bonding session for the family together as well, isn't it?
And if you've got a dog, of course, that's a wonderful thing, because you have to walk the dog. And when our children were growing up, we had Labradors, you know, these wonderful, sweet Labradors. And we used to walk miles with the Labradors, and the children would love it. And of course the dogs liked it as well. We had one very naughty Labrador, and she used to go and find dustbins and turn them upside down and eat rubbish, and then be very sick, you know, coming home and leave a mess all over the place. So that was my darling black Labrador. But the golden Labrador was so well behaved. He was absolutely sweet. And it's good for children to grow up with an animal as well. Learn how to look after it, you know, water it, and feed it the right things.
Now we've got a clip coming up by Ellen Jaffe-Jones. Would you like to explain who is Ellen?
Well, she was a TV presenter, and she had had a lot of health problems when she was young. She'd actually had a compacted bowel and nearly died in her early 20s. And she was living on the wrong diet. She was living on a lot of dairy. And she tells her story, very interesting. Now she's got herself really fit and changed her diet, so she got onto the juices, and she started running when she was a little bit older, and she now runs marathons and does really well, and she looks amazing. She looks about 21.
And she also made the $4 diet as well. So let's take a look at her story and see what she has to say.
I wrote Eat Vegan on $4 a day after watching too many news stories that said you can't eat well on a budget. There was this one particular story of a woman who was morbidly obese, loading up her cart with Twinkies and macaroni and cheese. And as I say in the book, the Twinkies made me do it. She was being interviewed by a reporter like I used to be, who was shoving the microphone in her face, and she goes, "You just can't eat well on a budget." And I'm going, yeah, I've been doing this for the better part of 32 years, and you absolutely can. And because I was a consumer and investigative reporter, I'd been tracking the Consumer Price Index for a lot of years, and I had my background at Smith Barney, which was very financially focused, and I thought, you know, I need to put these two careers to good use and really crunch the numbers. And that's what I did. I spent 4 years tracking the prices of foods and ingredients that I thought would go into recipes into a book. And I wrote them down on an Excel sheet, and I just saw that the price of beans didn't go up very much. If anything, maybe a penny over the course of 4 years. So in the book, every recipe has an estimated price based on ingredients that you can find at a big box store or your grocery store. And even if the prices don't match your particular store exactly, these are still the cheapest recipes on the planet. And I really wanted to show, even if you have to shop at a big box store, and the reality is 1 out of 4 people live below the poverty level in this country, so they have to shop at these stores. And I wanted to show that you can do it even there. At one Veg Fest I was doing, a guy walked by me and he sees the book on the table and he goes, "I don't know about vegan, but you had me at $4 a day." So I really think if you can show people how they can save money, not only at the grocery store, but by avoiding that $100,000 bypass surgery, all of a sudden they're really going to be excited about this concept. And I've really seen that in a number of ways. And part of what I talk about is it doesn't matter who pays for that bypass surgery, you, me, the government, corporations. It's not sustainable over time. And we have to really be able to stop these preventable diseases from bankrupting this country. And one of the concepts that I really like to emphasize is the $1,000 burger. And how I get at that is if you dollar cost average $100,000 bypass surgery over the course of your lifetime, depending how many burgers you eat and how many years you live, that $5 restaurant burger is really a $1,000 burger if you're taking in the true expense of getting sick and a bypass surgery. It's not cheap, no matter who pays for it. And we really have to understand, I think, that generations are losing each other, and we don't even know it. My parents were so sick and diseased by the time I had kids, they couldn't lift up my kids, let alone babysit them. And I just want to stop the pain and suffering I have seen up close so much all of my life. We used to congregate in hospital wings with whatever relative was in the hospital at that moment and kind of joke about, well, I guess we paid for the wing with this surgery. Or we would joke that our hospital visits were actually the site of our family reunions. I think that's really sad, and I don't want that for my 3 daughters.
Hi there, welcome back. That was a story with Ellen, her $4 a day diet, and it's inexpensive, but you're also eating healthy.
Well, it's wonderful, yes, and if you can go to an organic market and get your food from farmers you know, or grow it yourself, of course, I think that's really important, and of course that's the cheapest. I'm growing the most beautiful sprouts at the moment. They're fenugreek sprouts, and I have a Fresh Life sprouter, which is wonderful because it automatically waters all the time, because you know when people are growing things they forget to water and then ruin the seed. So yeah, they're absolutely beautiful, these sprouts. They've come up about that high, and buckwheat you can do as well. And they have more living enzymes in those little sprouts that are growing up, the alfalfa sprouts, all kinds of different ones. There's actually more enzymes in those than any other food, because it's God's food that's growing very fast. It's got all the nutrients in it, and that makes a wonderful meal.
Growing your own food also, you can get the children involved, and it's a way of educating them, of understanding where food comes from, but also eating healthy as well.
That's right. It's a wonderful thing to do. And of course you're out in the fresh air while you're growing them as well. You know, if you have an allotment or you have a garden, it's a wonderful hobby, and it gets children used to realizing, you know, the carrots actually are pulled out of the ground. They're not pulled out of the packet that we buy in the supermarket. And everything that you grow yourself tastes so good. It tastes completely different to food that you bought in a supermarket.
I mean, living in Spain, let's talk about the Mediterranean diet. I mean, we're blessed to be living here, but
yes.
On a whole, I say Spanish people, they generally eat a very healthy diet. They have they grow their own foods, they grow their own fruits, they grow their own vegetables, and they're just used to eating healthy.
It's wonderful, isn't it? I love gazpacho. There's so many lovely things that they make here, the salsas. And of course, if you can eat on the beach in the fresh air, it's even better. So yeah, I love the Mediterranean diet. And a little bit of fish is okay, as long as it's clean fish. It hasn't been in a fish farm where they're filled with carcinogens and food additives and colorants. You know, the salmon is sometimes colored pink, which is not a good idea. And so if you can get your fresh fish, then that's fine. But I do leave the meat alone, and I leave the chicken alone, because the chicken is more processed than anything else, with the hormones, the antibiotics, the steroids that the birds are fed.
Let's just finish talking about charity walks. It's a way that you're exercising, but at the same time you're raising money for a good cause as well.
Well, it's great, because obviously if you sign up for one and people are going to sponsor you, then you actually have to turn up. That means that you're actually going to have to train for it. So, and then you have the big event to look forward to. So I think a charity walk is a great idea, and we do a lovely one in Jersey in the summer, where we walk from one side of the island to the other.
Okay, very quickly, Elizabeth sent us an email. How can I get my husband to exercise? He's a real couch potato.
Yeah, well, you've got to motivate him, Elizabeth. You've got to motivate him out there, and get him on the resistance bands, get him moving gradually. Maybe suggest a charity walk. That would be a good idea. But it's fun if she can get him to actually move as well. And then the two of them can get on the right diet and start taking a bit of exercise.
Okay, Felicity, well, we have come towards the end of today's programme. Just give us your final few words, if you may.
Well, you know, the exercise is so important, and instead of having expensive gym membership, it's so much easier for people to exercise at home, to actually get out and walk and dance if they want to. You know, we've had some fun today with the clips, and it's just important to get moving.
There you go, viewers. That's some advice. Just make some changes in your life. Try and change your diet and try some exercise, and honestly, see how you feel. You will notice a difference within the next few days. So also use the example as our presenter, Hugh Jackman. He's doing fantastic. We see him often in the local town cycling on his bike and everything. So use that as an encouragement as well. So encourage others. Thank you so much for joining us today. Remember, we have a catch-up service on Revelation TV. It's on our website. Thank you so much, and God bless. Bye.